Are you crazy? I'm a magician. I make my living with my hands.
How's it going, guys? Grant here with Rise of Magic. Today we are going to be going over how I got my very first job in magic. Now, this is actually inspired by an email we got from a gentleman named Brendan. It says, "Hello, Henry Brothers. I am curious if you could tell me your story of how one of you was able to be a magician working for Chick-fil-A." Now, this story is very near and dear to my heart. A lot of stuff happened in order for me to actually work for Chick-fil-A doing magic, and a lot of it was pure luck because I had no idea what I was doing back then. But hopefully me sharing the story and analyzing the key points that was actually how I was able to get that job, hopefully they'll be able to help you guys land your own jobs in magic or learn a little bit something about getting into the industry and actually getting paid for what you want to do. So without further ado, let's get into the actual story of how this happened. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and rewind the clock, undo the sands of time, and go back to when I was roughly about 16 or 17 in my junior year of high school. I was applying for my first jobs. I applied to a couple places like Wegmans, which didn't ever contact me. Come on now. And Chick-fil-A, which actually did end up hiring me. Very first job ever. Super excited about it. Didn't want to taint my work environment with magic at all. I just did my best to learn everything I could. Had a great attitude about working there and just worked my hardest on being as good as I could as the job that had been set in front of me. I did cashier, I was a cook, I janitor, I cleaned up the area outside. I became one of their best employees, one of their best closers, and just kept on going like that. So after doing that for a few months, I started going out into the mall on my breaks to perform magic for people and just practice. I felt comfortable in my job to be able to just grab something to eat, go out, do some card tricks for people in my half an hour that I had to myself, and get well known around the mall and around the area. So I'll go do card tricks for people. A lot of people would just reject me and say, no, I want to see magic from you. Who are you? Who cares? And but there were some people who actually did like what I did, took the time to watch me perform and actually liked it. I got a couple tips every now and then. It wasn't anything that was daily, maybe more so every other week, so I get a couple bucks from doing it. But that wasn't why I was doing it. I just wanted to get better, and I just wanted to improve myself and just have fun performing for people, because that's the whole point of it. And so a few months of doing that, I got a little bit of reputation around the mall. People started to know who I was and be like, "Oh, yo, that guy, that kid's good at magic. We should go watch him. He'll blow your mind," whatever they want to say. And so eventually a day came across where a bunch of people said, "Hey, there's that kid who does magic and he's on his break. Let's go see something from him." And so a group of about 20 or 30 people came around me and were like, "Hey, we know you're awesome at magic. Let's see something." And so I was like, "All right, let's do it." I was in there with my little Chick-fil-A hat, my uniform, my Chick-fil-A polo, and a little name tag with my name on it. Just point of name tag. But I was like, "All right, cool, let's do it." Went and just started doing magic tricks for people. Everyone was loving it. I had a group of about 20 or 30 people around me right in front of the store. So it was a little bit of a spectacle. And afterwards, I went inside and my manager and coworkers were like, "What were you doing?" We could tell it was you because you were about a foot above everyone else. "But why were these people all around you? What were you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I was doing a couple card tricks and magic tricks for them. I just like to practice on my breaks to see if I can get better." And they're like, "Well, that's really cool. Show us." And so I went and just showed them some magic. They were impressed and they enjoyed it. And nothing else really happened from there. I just went on with my job and just continued to try to be the best I could. And eventually, after about a month or so, my manager, the general manager of the store who I'd performed magic for that about a month ago, she said, "Hey, would you mind doing one of our events that we're doing? It's a daddy-daughter date night where fathers and their daughters can come out, order some food, have some entertainment, and we'd like you to do magic for the event. We've been impressed with what you can do, and we think that you could bring a lot of entertainment to it." So I was like, "That's awesome. I got to do magic while getting paid for it? That's crazy. Yes, I'd love to do that." And so they're like, "Okay, that's great. We'll bring you onto it." And so I was able to dress up nicely, come to this event. People were being served by actual waiters instead of Chick-fil-A food rather than just ordering it like normal fast food. And I was just going around doing magic for people while they were waiting in line, while they were sitting at their table. And it was a ton of fun. And so after going through that event a little bit, it was great. People loved it. People left compliments to the store about it. And they had another event coming up that was something similar. It was like a mother-daughter date night or something like that. And So they wanted me to do that again. Did it again, it was great. But the thing that was different this time was that the owner of 3 or 4 other Chick-fil-A's in the areas was actually at that event eventually. He came later on in the event, but he came up to me and said, "Hey, I've heard that you're good. I've heard that people have been liking what you're doing. Show me." And so I was like, "Okay, let's go." And so I pulled out my cards, did like just ambitious cards, some other tricks, and he loved it. He thought it was great. And he complimented me on my performance, and he said they loved what I was doing and that hopefully we could bring me on for more stuff in the future. And so I was flattered. I was super hype about it. I went home and told my parents, told Chandler. This is before Chandler had started doing magic even, just how cool this was. And yeah, it was awesome. And a few months down the line, I get a call into the office, and they say, "Hey, we really like what you did for those events. How would you like to do the Tuesday night family nights at these other big Chick-fil-A's that aren't just your small mall Chick-fil-A?" And I was like, "Awesome. Yes, please. That'd be awesome." And so every other Tuesday, I would go to one of the larger standalone Chick-fil-A's rather than my mall Chick-fil-A and just go and do card tricks for people on their Tuesday. It was kind of like an event where parents could bring in their kids and they had balloon animals, other stuff, now a magician, and a little bit of discount on food, and they could just come and have a good time. So I just go around to people, say like, "Would you like to see a card trick?" Show them like a little routine, have fun, like chat it up with them, and just make sure they were having a good time. If it was busy, I'd go to the line and do card tricks for them to make sure that people weren't upset about waiting, and just entertain people while they were waiting. It was a good time. And so after doing that a couple times, I kind of realized like, hey, I'm driving about a half an hour out of my way to go to these events. Like, it's a lot of time. I'm still just doing my normal minimum wage that I have at Chick-fil-A, which was like about $7.50 at the time. So I went up to the manager and said, "Hey, like, I think this has been going really well, and since I'm going out of my way for somewhere that's not my normal location, I feel like I should be getting paid a little bit more for this. Is there anyone who I can talk to about that?" So she said, "Oh, of course," and gave me the told me when the person who handles like scheduling and money and all that was going to be in next. And so I went up and talked to her and told her the same exact thing, and I said like, "I'm sorry, but just in order to make this like worth my while, I feel like there should be something more." And a little nervous going into it because like talking about money and asking for more money is always going to be a nerve-wracking thing, especially at 16 or 17. But to my surprise, she just said, "Oh, of course, what would you like?" Just putting that out in there open for me, like what I want. I was like, I have no idea. I don't know what I'm worth. So I think I just said off the top of my head like $20 or $25 an hour. And she's like, "Oh, of course, yeah," and just gave it to me and said, "That's what you're gonna be doing from now on. Just log in your hours whenever you go and let them know, and you can have a free meal as well." And so I was like, "What the heck? This is awesome." I would get to go to the Chick-fil-A, get a free Chick-fil-A meal, go and perform for a couple hours, make $50. Like, the heck, is this real? It was awesome. And so looking back, probably a little bit undersold for what I was doing, but it was a great starting price for a first gig. And I did that for pretty much until I went to college. I would just go every other Tuesday, perform for a few hours, get a free meal, and just practice, have fun, and just perform. And I went to different Chick-fil-A's in the area. So the guy who I originally performed for, I think he owned 4 Chick-fil-A's in the area, including mine, but mine was a mall store, so it wasn't really able to do that. And so I went to, I think actually 3 times a month, to each one of those different Chick-fil-A's and just perform magic every Tuesday. It's a great way to get my name out. I was able to hand out business cards and just had an awesome time. And so that is the story of how I became the team magician for Chick-fil-A. So let's get into what I wish I'd known back then and what I would like to tell you based on this story. So yeah, let's get into that. All right, so looking back and analyzing what I did and what I wish I could have done, the very first thing is that I put myself in a position where unknowingly I had the opportunity to do magic. So at this mall location at Chick-fil-A, I didn't know there was an opportunity. I didn't have any idea that they were doing events like these where they could use a magician. But just kind of by accident, I stumbled across that situation where a magician would be perfect for that. And the thing that I found the most important was that, looking back on it, I wasn't like a slacker at work. I didn't just sit there on my bum and just wait for the day to end without really working hard. I worked hard every single day and I tried to do my best. And when it came to closing the store, I would try my best to like almost speed run it and try to like do it as fast as I could, as well as I could. And I took pride in the fact that I was able to do it the fastest out of anyone there. And so to these people who I didn't know would be eventually hiring me for magic, they already knew that I was a fantastic worker and that I had integrity in my work, and that if I was actually to do magic in the future, which they didn't even know at the time yet, I wasn't going to be trying to take advantage of them and just like sit and eat the whole time while they were paying me to do magic and not actually performing. So they knew that I was actually going to be like trustworthy and have integrity. The second thing is that I performed magic and I got good at it. So going out into the mall, performing every day and practicing, there was plenty of times where I messed up, but most of the people in the mall wouldn't really see that often, so it wasn't a huge deal. I just had to make sure that the times I succeeded were much more memorable than the times I failed. We have a video, I can probably hopefully remember to link it up here, that talks about what to do when you fail magic. But I got my name out there and like got a reputation for myself in that area that I wanted to perform in. And so people already knew who I was, and when they eventually said like, oh, we have a grant performing magic, people were like, oh, that kid who does magic, well, that's awesome, we're going to come watch him perform. And so getting my name out there and actually having people like know who I was and enjoy what I do was really key in doing it. The third thing I did was I didn't ask for a raise right away. I didn't ask for more money for performing magic right away. I just did it for my normal minimum wage salary at Chick-fil-A and loved it and enjoyed it and showed the value through that without having to ask for money straight away. So without them having to make a huge financial commitment in me, I was able to show the value that I had in magician and the entertainment value and all the other things that you can get out of having a magician at a restaurant or something like that, entertaining people's minds, making people have fun and giving them a reason to come back to the store, all those separate type of things. But I was able to show that with my magic before actually having them put the financial investment in me. Other than that, though, I was prepared. So when my manager asked me, the general manager of the store and the guy who even owns the store asked me to do magic for them, I was prepared. I had routines ready. I had done my work. I had practiced. I had done practice for people in the mall. So when they asked me for magic, I wasn't really nervous or anything. I just already knew what I was going to do and performed it, and they loved it. And so I was prepared. Always be prepared. Insert clip from Hoodwink. And yeah, so I was prepared. The third thing was, though, is that I recognized my worth and my value. Now, I probably undersold myself for what I could have gone back then, just because I wasn't prepared for answering the question of what I was worth back then. But if you ever find yourself in that situation, go in there knowing what you ideally think you would be worth. So right now, like if you were to say, like, I think I'm worth about $50 an hour for a restaurant. Now, if you're going into that interview, maybe say 70, see how that works out. If they think that's too much, you can always negotiate down to that original 50. Negotiation is something that you can go into a whole lot, but just like, it's better to start higher and negotiate lower than it is to start low and just have them agree. No business is going to actually spend money on something that's not worth it for them. So knowing your worth and knowing what the company is getting out of it and being able to ask for your fair share of that in return for your services. Because being a magician, you might see on YouTube people with hundreds of thousands of subscribers who have focused solely on magic for their content. But if you think of, like, let's just say for us, we have about 25,000 subscribers right now. 25,000 people spread out throughout the whole world. That's not even enough for like each city in America to have a magician. So it is a very niche talent that not many people can do, and that's worth something. So don't be afraid to ask for that worth, because it's something that not everyone else can do. You've put hours of practice into it, and you deserve to be paid more than minimum wage for it. So know your worth, know your value, and don't be afraid to ask for it. The last thing that I was able to do through this was actually promote myself further. So at the family nights, I was able to hand out business cards. I made business cards for myself so that people there who enjoyed it could hire me for future events, and just continue to get my name out there and market myself, because as a magician, no one's going to know who you are or hire you without hearing about you first. And that might sound obvious, but getting your name out there and having people know who you are is so underrated. Not underrated, but something that people just don't really think about. And so, I think I've said "and so" a whole lot, but just getting your name out there and marketing yourself properly, and someone that people would actually want to hire. So for the family night at Chick-fil-A, I probably wouldn't have gotten it if I marketed myself as this demon magician who was going to possess kids. That's not really the thing that they're going for. So knowing your brand and who you are as a magician, it's going to be good to know what type of place you're actually going to go for. And since for me it was Chick-fil-A, the demon thing didn't really work out. It doesn't work out for me in general, so I don't really do it. But if you're trying to get a job at, like, who knows, some sort of place that likes demonic things, go for that demon thing. It's all up to you. But I found that most companies don't really like that. Just my observation. Alright, now the last thing I want to leave you guys with is to just not get too focused on the money. Now, of course, money's great. It allows you to do great things, live places, buy things, and eat, get gains. Money's a wonderful thing, but in terms of magic, really should come secondary. So I want you to focus mainly on just having fun with the craft, just doing what you love, entertaining people, making other people happy with what you do, and just trusting the process of doing magic and enjoying it rather than just focusing on money right away. Because if you're just focused on money, you're doing it just to try to make a quick buck, it's going to get old really quickly. And just like any other job, you're going to eventually get bored of it and just hate doing it. So really try to keep up with just what got you to enjoy it in the first place, and keep that in mind and let the money come secondary, because if you get good enough, people are going to want to pay you. It'll come. So other than that, I really hope you guys got something out of this video. This is my first video just kind of talking like this in front of the camera without Chandler here. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any more questions like this, as I said before, feel free to either go to our website and email us just like Brendan did. We reply to everyone who emails us. But if you have a really good question like Brendan, we might make another video on it. Who knows? Other than that, anything else, just feel free to comment it down below. Like, subscribe, all those things are free to do, so why not? And yeah, it's been great talking with you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whenever it is. As always, see you in the next video. Peace. And I've been trying. This was actually inspired by an email that we got on our website by a guy named Brendan. We'll go over it in just a second. Oh. Got Sharon calling. Yo, what's up?
Hello, you have reached the voicemail box of Chandler Henry. Please leave a message after the tone.
Are you calling me about Thanksgiving?
What?
Are you calling me about Thanksgiving?
That joke would have only worked if you were calling me. Yeah, Thanksgiving. Are you going to be home?
Yeah, I'll be home. I'll be home probably about 4 days, around like 2 days before Thanksgiving, 2 days after. I'm assuming you're going to be home as well, right?
Yeah. I'm thinking we make like 15 videos.
That's the goal. 15 is kind of like lowballing it, though.
Alright, we'll see what happens. Shake and bake. Don't forget to floss.
Of course. I actually
I'm going to call you. Do not forget to floss tonight.
Yeah. I have a floss pick around here somewhere. I don't know where it is, though. But anyway, we'll make some sick videos. So people got some stuff to look forward to. I'm actually filming a video right now, though, so say hey to everyone.
And I've been trying to dig my way out of the ocean and punch a hole in the sky and float